now because this is the actual beginning of the meeting and we should be recording. So let me begin with the opening prayer. Where is it here? Okay. Let's see. I'm going to try to share my screen on this one. Okay, there we are. Let us pray. Almighty and ever-living God, source of all wisdom and understanding, be present with us as we take counsel for the renewal and mission of your church. Teach us in all things to seek first your honor and glory. Guide us to perceive what is right and grant us both the courage to pursue it and the grace to accomplish it. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Okay. I guess the next thing is our treasurer's report. And I'm not sure if Jim is here. Are you here, Jim? Is Jim Foley here?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Can you share?
Nope.
Not until you make me host or enable that.
If you go down to share screen, there's an option to allow people to share.
Here it is. Okay. How about that? Does it show now?
Yep.
There we go.
Ta-da.
Good.
Here we are with the annual treasurer's report. So we're going to talk about our income and expense, go into all the wonderful things we did with outreach, see where we are with the rental property as far as financial stuff, look at the diocesan investment funds performance, get an update on where we are on our mortgage, go over the budget for 2021 and go over some notes and take questions. So first is the operating income and expenses. First, we'll talk about pledge and plate collections by year. We were expecting to continue our climb in 2020, but then this bad thing happened and where we actually wound up with a big asterisk next to 2020. Now, this actually drove a lot more online giving through Vanco. And we now have 3 ways to do that. You can go to the church website and make an online donation there. You can use the Give Plus app on your phone or iPad, or you can actually just text to that number, 833, and it's hidden behind my 720.
Go hit that button up there. Right here, the multiple.
Yeah.
It'll close it.
Weird. Anyway, you can see the number. I've got people over it.
Where's your arrow?
It's not on there. So the number of donors went up from 9 last year to almost 20 to 25. It almost tripled, and our donations that were made online went up about 50%. So online giving is getting in there quite a bit, but still not enough to make up what we needed to make up. I need to figure out why.
They can see it. They can't see your pictures.
There. So we wound up with pledge and plate of $169,330 and 89 cents, which was down about $40,000 from last year. In designated donations, we wound up with $14,503, and a lot of that was for about 5,000 of it was for getting ready to do this kind of thing through the church, setting up cameras and software for doing online church services. Before we talk about the other type of income, I need to mention the payroll protection plan. The diocese signed us up for that, and we were able to get 2 months worth of payroll as a grant that was forgiven because we were able to use 85% of that money. In our case, we actually used 100% of the money for paying for payroll, and that was just over $21,000, which helped a lot. Then we got $20,000 from the rental property income. So other operating income was up substantially in 2020, but that still wasn't enough to do as well as we did last year. And it's very likely that we won't have the ability to do that in the coming year because of the blowback nationally from some of the mega churches that had applied for it that really didn't need it and got it. So they're putting in much bigger restrictions on who can get the payroll protection program this coming year. So for where'd the money go? As always, payroll and benefits was number one, but administrative is usually number two because that's the where the assessment is paid to the diocese. But because our income was down, our monies that we sent to them was down. And so it got surpassed by what we pay for our mortgage and utilities at the church. Programs were about 9%, utilities 3%, and operating, that's the office expenses, which is basically postage and whatnot.
All right.
So again, the administrative is the assessment driven for the most part, and insurance. Facilities and environment went up. So those basically swapped positions. Operating was down a little bit because we weren't printing as much programs to hand out to people at church. Payroll and benefits was down a little bit because we didn't have people in the church at all for a period of time. So we weren't paying the musicians and nursery folks. Programs up substantially. Part of that was because of generous donations for outreach, but also because of paying for repairs on the organ and other programs, like I mentioned before, with the online services. And utilities were down from last year, partly because we got a big credit from the Silverdale Water District when we got our deposit back from construction. So that should go up a little bit this next year, but probably not be as big as it was in 2019. So total operating expenses was about the same as last year all together, but because of the drop in income of $8,000, we were $8,641.12 in the red. And so it's not a Tigger year, it's an Eeyore year.
It's an Eeyore year.
So for outreach, the number, well, let's see, 53% came from donations, 8% from the endowment fund that was passed on to the Lord's Diner, and 38% was budgeted. The number one recipient was our friend Charles in Uganda for his mission. Number two, Central Kitsap Food Bank with $2,160. And number three was the Vickers Discretionary Fund at $1,289. And then the Lord's Neighborhood Diner at $900. We decided to stop sending money to them because they weren't operating either. And we'll save that for when they do resume operations. I'm also coincidentally treasurer for the Lord's Neighborhood Diner. So I know that money was passed on to some of the charities that we support, including the Salvation Army and Kitsap Community Resources. So it did not go to waste. Next was Shane Carlson Seminary support at $545. Kitsap Rescue Mission at $500. Kitsap Community Resources, $500. Kitsap.
I'm hearing it on yours, yeah, and I'm seeing it on mine.
Emily, you need to mute yourself.
Salvation Army, $350. Eliminating Racism, Empowering Women, a live shelter for the YWCA.
I need to what?
The Coffee Oasis, $250.
Mute it, okay.
And the Kathleen Sutton Fund, $250. Fishline here in Paulsbo, $250. And the Diocese of Jerusalem got $100. So total 2020 outreach was $10,700, up about $1,000 from last year. So real good. The rental property rents were about $200 less than last year because the owners did work for us that wound up being credited as rent. We'll see some of that again this year, a little more of that. So we netted $19,331.09, which we used for, as I mentioned before, towards operating expenses. Property tax went up substantially because the county realized it wasn't a vacant lot. We actually had a building on it, and they adjusted the property tax accordingly. The Diocesan Investment Fund, there's what the Dow Jones Industrial Average has done over the last 10 years. And you can see at the beginning of the year, it took a big dive, but it recovered completely by the end of the year and then some. So looking at the funds over the last 3 years, they continue to ramp up. And that's where all of them were at the end of the year. As I picked up the statement for December yesterday, and that is the most current figures: $6,210.95 for the Altar Guild, $684.29 for the Building Fund, $8,243.14 for the Endowment, $94,465 for the Memorial Fund. The operating reserve was $35,000. Outreach Endowment was $34,703. And search and sabbatical, $17,493 for a total of $196,862.02. Okay, so the mortgage, we're just a little over a year into having a mortgage. We started out owing $710,000. We've had some very generous donations during the course of the year to help pay that down. So at the end of the year, we were at $685,104.22 and continue to pay that down. So for 2021, the budget is based on more realistic goals because of the reality of COVID. Still expecting to get $22,000 from the rental property. The diocesan assessment remains the same. Monthly mortgage payments of $4,075.77. Total payroll and benefits went up about $3,200, and outreach budget remains $4,000. So we're budgeted for a $17,750 loss unless we can make up some of the income and or get help through the payroll protection plan. So that's what the budget looks like this year versus last. And you can see where it all plays out. Basically, we're thinking administrative will go down a little bit more, payroll up, programs down a little bit, and from what we were budgeted, and facilities and utilities will go up a little bit as the utilities go up, since we won't have that credit. Okay, so for stewardship, over the last 4 years, you can see we always received more than what was pledged. Last year, the pledge amount was a little bit more than what we had pledged in 2018, but not as well as 2019. This year is about the level of 2017 in pledges received as of earlier this week. So I expect we'll do better than last year and budgeted accordingly, but we're still not where we were in 2019. The only other notes I had from a treasurer standpoint is Santa Claus was really generous and got me a new MacBook Pro. So I've converted from Windows to Mac and bought a new version of QuickBooks and the newest version of...
Santa Claus was not the one who gave you the computer.
My wife, Santa Claus. Anyway, the newer version of QuickBooks is a lot more supportive of the accounting practices of nonprofits. And so I'm going to be converting some of the reports and the way our accounts are structured to better reflect nonprofit instead of the business ones that we were forced into because of the way QuickBooks was structured when we started this process. So that's something that I'll be working on here in the first quarter. And that kind of concludes the thing. So I'm open to any questions.
Any questions?
I don't have a question, but Jim, you are amazing. Thank you so much for everything you do.
I do have a
Incredible. Best
question.
report I've ever seen, just in the way it was presented. Wow.
I do have a question. Normally, when I give to church, I will designate money to go to music. Where does that go, Jim? If I send in money and I've designated it to be for music?
Actually have a category. It's complicated. When we get donations, I have sub accounts under the checking account that, so if someone says it goes to music, I have a sub account that says music, and I put the money in there for the checking account, and I add that to the music fund's budget. So the folks in charge of music will spend it there. We use that we get a license for being able to broadcast over the internet the music that we play. That actually requires a special license. So it helps to fund that. It helps to fund the organ repairs, that kind of thing.
I just didn't see it as a budget item, so I was curious as to where it fit within the budget. Thank you.
It's under programs, down toward the bottom of the programs things that it says worship and music, and it's in there.
Jim, in the past, I remember you had deficits budgeted in the past, and then oftentimes there was the plate income would help offset or even erase that. Will when we get back to going to real services online or in person, will that plate income help offset some of that deficit?
Definitely. We typically get, $6,000 or so in plate. And we only had 900 last year because we only had, about a month and a half worth of in-person services where we had the plate. So once we get back, yes, that'll go up. But, and I did kind of factor that into the budget for this year, but I'm hoping that we can get back in time for summer, and there's going to be a backlog of needs for people wanting to get married in the church. And so we can rent the facilities and get a lot more income that way as well. But at the rate the vaccine's being rolled out, I'm a little pessimistic at the moment.
Help me with and Bill, help me with my timeline. Have we had a full year in the church yet to even know what our budget for the new facility is? Because we were only in it for half a year, right? And then COVID. Have we had a full calendar year?
No, we haven't.
So we still have no clue what our budget is for this new building.
Well, we can best guess now that we've had a year in it, even though we haven't occupied it fully for that year. We've got a year worth of bills, and I can see what the effect of the credit was on it and stuff. And so I budgeted based on that. I think it's a lot less of a roulette wheel than it was going into this last year. We need to get over COVID.
Yeah.
By the way, Sarah, I love the way you've dressed up for this meeting. You look gorgeous.
You put on a headscarf and some earrings, and all of a sudden you're glamorous, when really I did nothing.
Anything else? Oh, thank you. It's fun being your treasurer. Turn it back over to Bill.
All right, Jim, thank you so much. Yeah, that's a fantastic report, as you always do. And thanks for adapting it to Zoom and making it so that we can all see those numbers. And as you say, we're looking forward to getting back in the building and sort of, cranking up again. And I think that's going to make a difference. I hope it'll make a difference on our income and just the vitality of all the activities we have. Okay, next on our agenda are fund reports. And I wonder if Ruth Lindstrom would like to say anything about the Altar Guild Fund, and I'm going to bring it up here so we can all see it. There it is, right there. Ruth, you want to say anything about that?
Okay, yes, I can see it. Has everybody had a chance to look at it and have any questions? It's pretty straightforward, I guess, I would think.
Okay.
And I especially, I noted in my report following this, the financial report, we are especially thankful and grateful to Deacon Bill for cleaning up between services. You've no idea what a blessing that is, because it just alleviates the Altar Guild members from going down between the early service and the second service to do that. And it doesn't really, and then they'd have to go back to take care of these after the second service. So we are truly, truly appreciative of Deacon Bill's assistance with that. So I thank you very much, Bill.
Great.
Thank
you. Okay. Thank you, Ruth.
I thank everybody for their contributions. I mean, throughout the year, regardless, it's just been really a, we've done very well. And my Altar Guild members have just been right there every time we need them and willing to help, as has Father Bill and Deacon Bill and Father Craig and Guy. So thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
You said checking account balance as of 2019. Was that meant to be 2019 or 2020?
It was meant to be.
Let me bring that back up.
At the end of 19. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, at the end of 19, it was that much. And then at the end of last year, it was the middle section. So at the end of the previous year, 19, it was 4,476. And then at the end of last year, a year later, it was 4,499. Isn't that right? That was for the year of 2020.
Okay, thank you. I didn't see the whole page when you showed it, and I didn't
okay.
remember it from when I saw the page. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Any questions for Ruth? Any more questions? Okay, Emily, I'm muting you because we can hear you, so I'm muting you again. Okay, thank you, Chelsea, for letting me know about that. Okay, now is time for the endowment fund report. So I'm going to ask Chris if he would like to share that with us, and I'll bring it up here. Yeah, here it is. So Chris, do you want to say anything about the endowment fund status?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. If you have already looked over the two funds that we have, you will see that here again, the Diocesan Investment Fund has increased the dollar amounts available for use in the respective areas of the two funds. The first fund is our General St. Anthony's Endowment Fund, which was set up for when we moved into our new church building. Believe it or not, we are in it, even if we are using it virtually. The second fund is our Outreach Fund, which is dedicated for use when members of our congregation are active participants in the supported project. Certainly, it was the St. A Outreach Committee and Altar Guild volunteers, other volunteers providing the necessary workers at St. Paul's Lord's Diner in the area of food preparation, serving, and cleanup. That was so important in helping the Lord's Neighborhood Diner be successful for the second Saturday of every other month. I think the math is straightforward and I won't go through it this year. The main play is we let the DIF grow through its investments and we adjust the principal using the consumer price index each year so we don't touch the yearly adjusted principal. Part two of my spiel. In support of our endowment funds, we have St. Anthony's Legacy plaque showing St. A members who have already given a legacy or have made provisions in their wills to leave a legacy gift to St. A's. This plaque is now on the gathering room wall, which is outside of the galley or kitchen. Endowment funds usually come from the legacy of planned giving, which is part of our overall stewardship responsibility. Outright gifts during one's lifetime can also be given to an existing endowment or to a new endowment with the approval of the Bishops' Committee. These endowments create additional sources of funds to support a diverse set of ministries and programs as our congregation continues to gather, grow, and go, albeit with the demise of COVID-19. So here is the bottom line. We have just completed our annual stewardship campaign to support our operations and ministries in 2021. However, we are remiss if we don't plan ahead. Having served in the Navy for a few number of years, we learned to plan ahead and secure the ship for heavy weather before we leave port for at-sea operations. Accordingly, I have submitted my annual pledge to St. Anthony's for 2021. My legacy planning in my will has been completed for St. Anthony's. It will be executed at a time yet to be determined. I hope everyone has an up-to-date will and they're planning for the future. In the meantime, since I'm the appointed curmudgeon of this here church, wear your mask, keep your distance, wash your hands, and get your vaccination when you can. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Excellent report, Chris. Thank you very much. Does anybody have questions for Chris?
You can call me if you have them later or if you want to sign up as a legacy person. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Let's see. I think the next thing on our agenda is a Memorial Fund report, and I want to just make a quick report here. Here it is. No, let's see. Right here. The Memorial Committee did not meet in 2020 due to the pandemic, and no funds were spent from the Memorial Fund. So in the middle line, you can see in the bold print, the Diocesan Investment Fund, the DIF, started the year at 87,925 and finished at 94,465. So it went up by $6,500. The savings account for the Memorial Fund started at 4722 and went up mostly by donations to 7321. So our total memorial funds at this point are a little over $101,000. So that's the report for the Memorial Fund. Does anyone have any questions about that? Okay.
Bill, if you don't scroll down when you're doing your screen sharing, we can't scroll down on the report. So I can see Memorial Fund report. I cannot change that to see any of the other pages that you have up here. So if you can do something with that, that would be helpful, I think, at least to me. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted you to see the Memorial Fund report for that report. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the Vicar's report. As you know, I had my Vicar's report in the annual report, a couple of pages there. So I just want to say a few thank yous. Thank you to everyone for keeping up your pledge and for being so generous with your donations to St. Anthony's. I know it's hard when we're not meeting, but all the expenses still keep going on, as Jim said, and so I'm really grateful for everyone who's been so supportive. I also want to say thank you to the people who helped donate to the live stream equipment. We had raised over $6,000, so we were able to get some really good equipment, 2 very good cameras and a laptop and other equipment to help us make our live stream as good as we can. And I want to say thank you to Jim Foley for being our treasurer. Great job. He puts a lot of hours in and really knows how to put those reports out. And to Pam Morton, our receiving treasurer, does a lot of work behind the scenes. And to Ruth Lindstrom for our altar guild. And of course, I want to thank Bill Tate and Craig Vaselka, my fellow clergy. We're here every Sunday and we've made a pretty good team. So that's really great. And I want to thank Penny for being our bishop's warden again this year, especially in all the work she's done to keep our prayer list and receive phone calls and sort of keep track of everybody. She's done a really wonderful job. And I want to say thank you to David Wilkinson. He has been our bishop's warden for 2 years, and he's done an awful lot of work, especially when we moved into the new church. David got us the new tables, the round tables that are so wonderful to sit around. And he took care of getting the hymnals and prayer books, the new books that we got, and putting the labels inside them of the donors. And he also helped us get our cleaning supplies set up. So thanks so much to David for all of that. And David's going off the Bishops Committee this year. So I'm going to give him a gift certificate to Valley Nursery. I know David likes to garden in his yard. And so hopefully you can get something nice with this gift certificate, and remember us and our thanks to you for being the bishop's warden. Okay, that's about all I have. Let's see, what is next?
Well, I had a question.
Yes.
What is the memorial fund used for? What kinds of things do we normally use that for?
The memorial fund is usually used for things of lasting value, especially things for worship. So appropriate items are like vases or vestments, chalices, altars, prayer books, chairs, organs, pianos, that sort of thing.
Thank you. I know you're a little humble, but I think we ought to also say thank you to a young man named Guy Fulton.
Yeah, Guy has done a great job. He's been here every Sunday for 2 services since the beginning of the pandemic, and really has helped us have a good live stream. So thanks to Guy. Thank you, Steve. Okay, David, would you like to say any words as the bishop's warden? Are you here, David?
I had to get unmuted, excuse me.
Okay. There you are.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to see such a big group turning out for their annual meeting. And it's good to see all of your faces. I want to thank everyone for allowing me this opportunity to actually be on the Bishops Committee, and for Bill giving me the opportunity to be the Bishop's Warden for the last 2 years. And I thank you for that gift certificate. Yes, I will enjoy it thoroughly because I do love playing in the yard when the weather permits. It has been a hard year for all of us, being separated and having to go through many of the things personal and all the things that have happened in our world in this last year, having to often do that in solitude. But the one thing that has remained steady, even though we couldn't meet together, the church family still held together this year. through our streamlined services, through Zoom coffee hours and Zoom Bible study, and other type of technological capabilities. Thank goodness this happened during a time when technology allows us to do these things. Imagine how it would have been if we wouldn't have had it. Our support financially, our stewardship financially has maybe dropped a little, but in reality, we are blessed. We have held together well. And our volunteers through the different things that were needed, such as the Altar Guild, Dave Sorrell and the work parties to keep the grounds taken care of. And then the prayer chain and the phone calls and the outreach. Having Declan, my husband, as one of the team leads on that, I sit and listen to that each Saturday night. And I think that's been a great benefit, and it's been a wonderful thing. And especially for folks who are really isolated, that are in, care facilities where they're not able to have people really come and visit them, or haven't been pretty much. So that's been another great thing. So ultimately, it was a hard year and a tough year, and we're looking forward and hoping that we're going to be able to get together soon. And for some of us, that may be longer, because we may feel we need to hold back for a while, and that's okay. But we do have a plan already built. Bill Tate has already put that together on the things that we'll need to do. As a matter of fact, his plan went to the diocese, and they are sharing it with other churches. So we are poised and ready when the time is right for us to begin to gather again. But overall, we as a church have been blessed. And that's what I think I want us to focus and remember. Even though it was a tough year, what do you call that? A hard Christmas candy? I can't remember how that saying goes, but hard candy Christmas. But we survived, and we are so blessed above so many other churches who did not do as well. And I'm sure that a number of churches will be lost this year because they couldn't make it through. But we were blessed, and we kept moving forward through the stewardship of time, talent, and treasure. And I think just the general family love of this church. And that's my report.
David, thank you. That's a really good assessment and very positive. Thank you. Yeah. Everybody applaud. Okay, great. Next on the agenda, we have a chance for any of the commission members, the BC members, to say anything about the report. All the reports were in the annual report, which you got and which is on the front page of the website. So do any of the BC members want to say anything in addition to what they've already reported? Last chance. Okay. Now we're coming to the election of new members, so new BC members. So the way this works, let me bring up the screen here to show you who is on and off here. Let's see. So here are BC members for the last year, and the ones that are underlined are going off. So David Wilkinson, Carolyn Sorrell, and Blaine Morgan are going off as of this meeting today. Kristen Roebuck has moved to Florida, so she had to resign, and her term would have ended next year. And we have one empty slot that would be a 2-year slot. So we need to replace those 4 positions. Penny Whitney, Peter Stockwell, and Chelsea continue for another year, and David Peterson has 2 more years. So we do have some nominations. Let's see, they are Dolores Pereira, Loretta McGinley, Julie Sherwin, and Emily Nickerson. Would anyone else like to nominate themselves or nominate someone else? And I think the best way to do this would be, well, I guess we could do it orally. You could just unmute yourself and speak. If anyone else would like to be nominated or nominate someone for the Bishops Committee. Any takers? We asked a lot of people and we got a lot of no's or next year's.
Bill, I'm new to the parish. As you all know, I've been sort of hanging on the edge just about the time that everything closed off. And I am willing to put in time and serve in that 1-year position if there is nobody else who wants to do it. I'll have my second vaccine in a couple of weeks, and so I'll be able to go out and talk to people again, which would be wonderful. So if anybody, if you want to take that up, I'm available. Otherwise, thanks so much for the opening.
Great. Okay, so you're saying you'd be willing to run for the 1-year term? Yeah, okay, good. And Emily Nickerson was the last person to put her hand up for the nominations. So I'm thinking maybe she would be willing to serve the 2-year term.
Can you hear me, Bill?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm on my phone and watching. Yes, I'll serve for the 2-year term.
Okay. And then that would mean that Dolores Pereira, Loretta McGinley, and Julie Sherwin would be for the 3-year terms. Does that sound okay? Okay, so
Sure.
what?
Sure.
Okay, sure. So it sounds to me like we have a slate of candidates, and the easiest way to do this is to vote for the slate. So
I move we vote for the slate.
thank you, Peter. Is there a second?
I second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'm not sure how we do this. What should we do, Peter? Should we have everybody just?
You can accept the slate without objection.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Right. So just simply say we'll accept the slate as moved without exception.
Right. Since there's been no exceptions, nobody has raised any objections. I will accept the slate of nominations as nominated. So it's done. Thank you. Thanks to everyone who agreed to run. Okay, the next thing we need to do is to elect delegates for convention, which is October 28th and 29th. I don't know if it's going to be virtual or in person. I think they're hoping to have it in person. And we don't have any nominations for this. So is anyone willing to be our convention delegate this fall? Anybody like to sign up for that?
What exactly do they do for those of us who are not in the know?
Okay, the convention is a 2-day affair, usually Friday and Saturday, finishing about 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. And it's usually at a large convention center in Seattle at SeaTac or up in North Seattle. And there's, as a delegate from St. Anthony's, you have a vote to vote on resolutions at the diocese and the diocesan budget and that sort of thing. And you get to see all the things that are happening in the diocese. It's kind of a fun thing. It's sort of the family get together for the diocese. This year was held virtually, and so they tried to do the same thing online, and it was really pretty good. And I'm not sure how they're going to do it next year. There's probably not any other meetings, although there's a lot of information to read before the convention. Okay, Loretta is that in the chat, said she'd be interested in going as primary or secondary. Anybody else? Are you interested, Julie?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt if I'm on the bishops committee. It's kind of good to know more of what's going on in the great wide world of church.
May I say something?
Sure, Maggie.
I have been to diocesan convention, both as a delegate, as an alternate, and just as an observer. And it's a wonderful experience and a necessary one for people in our congregation over here on the Kitsap Peninsula to participate and learn more about the churches in the diocese. It's an opportunity to speak with other people, to engage in the issues before the church, issues that can affect our congregation, and for us to voice our concerns. There are usually meetings, and Carolyn Sorrell could speak to this as well, of members in our region, our diocesan region, to discuss matters before convention. And then there is the opportunity to report back to the congregation after the convention. And that's an important thing, because I think too often it is easy to forget that not only do we belong to the worldwide Anglican Communion, but we are a part of that from the diocesan level down. We get support from our diocese, monetary, there are decisions that have to be made. I could go on and on about it, and if anybody wanted, but it's a wonderful opportunity to participate and engage beyond our own congregation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Maggie. You're right. It's really a great opportunity. And you learn more about the wider church. Okay, so it looks like we have Jesse and Loretta who are willing to run for convention delegate. Is there anyone who'd like to be the alternate in case they are unable to serve? Esther?
Yeah, I can do that. I've been to convention before, so I have a big idea of what they do. Sure.
Okay, there's one delegate, alternate delegate, in case Julia or Loretta can't go. Esther will go. Any other takers?
Did they change the rules about male and female, one each?
Yeah, they did. There's no genders specified.
Bill, I sent you a chat that I'm willing to run for alternate because there's a chance that I will be stateside for a couple months overlapping convention.
Oh, okay. Sounds great, Charles. I'm sure everyone would love to see you at convention. Okay, well, that gives us a slate of 2 convention delegates, Julie and Loretta, and 2 alternates, Esther and Charles. So are there any objections to adopting that slate?
I move we adopt that slate.
Is there a second?
Without objection.
Second.
Okay, then it is accepted and they're voted in. Thank you. Great. Okay, I think that concludes our meeting part. Now I want to do a little bit more just for fun to do the breakout rooms. Now, Zoom is going to allow us to break out into little rooms of 2 or 3, I'm not sure how many people. I think I can control that. And we're going to have a couple of questions just for fun, just so we can see our fellow St. A's members and have a little chance to chat. Maybe you'll see someone you're not familiar with and get to know them a little bit. And these will be 3 minutes and they're just easy questions. The first question is, are you a cat person, a dog person, both, or neither? And I'm going to try to put us in groups of 3 and give us 3 minutes. So it's about a minute each. So, okay, where is it here? Yeah, here it is, breakout rooms, assign automatically. I'm going to do, see, we have 36 participants, so I'm going to do 12 rooms. And they're going to be assigned automatically, and it's going to be about 3 people per room. So I'll give you 3 minutes and then I'll bring you back together.
You done this before?
Just, we did it at that Rotary Christmas party.
Oh, yeah.
Remember to unmute. Okay, I guess this is our breakout room. Carolyn, can you hear us?
Yes.
Where do you see?
Okay. In my household, we have an old cat, Tess. She's about 16 years old and she's getting kind of antiquated. And we have 2 new Siamese kittens, Annie and Phoebe. And we just got them a couple of months ago. So we're full of cats. We don't have any dogs. What about you, Carolyn?
Of course, I don't have a cat here or a dog. I'd love to have a dog, but living on the 3rd floor and our elevator is usually out of order and I have to walk a distance. It wouldn't be possible for me to go and walk a dog outside in all weather. So no, I miss my dogs tremendously.
Yeah, did you have dogs for a lot of years?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I can't remember the name of your dog. It was a
Oh, Blackjack was our latest one.
Blackjack.
Yeah, he was our wire-haired. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, does anybody in the Willows have animals?
Yeah, there's most people have cats. There's some people with dogs and they prefer to live on the ground floor. So they don't have to negotiate stairs or worry about the elevator. And we have an inner courtyard where actually you can let your animal do their business unless you pick up after them. And that's only as a last resort place. But
oh, yeah.
Yeah. But the woman across the door from me has a cat. He is so big and so fat, he weighs 40 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. His name is Grover and he's like a dog. He's really amazing.
He's like a dog, yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's anybody comes into a room, if allowed, with a mask on, he just sort of stands there like, what's the password? He's a riot.
Well, I know Vivian has a cat because I was talking to her the other day, and that cat is, helping her be not quite so lonely.
Yeah, she lost her dog, didn't she?
Yeah, she lost Daisy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Pretty old and pretty rickety, so
yeah,
it was about time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, our time's about up, so I'm going to bring everybody back together. So I'm going to close these rooms. Stop. Okay. Okay, I guess that's another 56 seconds. Okay. All right. Well, we're doing pretty good at our house. Those 2 little kittens are keeping us very occupied. Hi, Malcolm and Sylvia. Are you cat people or dog people?
We're we're both.
We're both, but have neither.
We're all coming back into the main thing now. Okay. In 30 seconds, everybody will be back in. Did it work for you, Sarah?
Oh yeah, we learned a lot.
Okay. Good.
I never got to a breakout room. I was on with Emily, but she was talking on the phone to somebody else, so there was nothing happening there.
Was there just 2 of you, Esther?
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, just the one of me, because she was on the phone, as I say, to somebody else, so I don't know.
She was in our breakout room.
Well, if that worked for everybody, it worked for me and 2 others.
Daisy
Well
joined
done.
for the breakout, so.
Okay, let's try another one here.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Something came up in the breakout that folks want a copy of my report. I can save the slideshow as a PDF and send it to you. And then I don't know if you want to either post that, or if anyone requests it, maybe Linda could send it to them. I'm not sure what would be the best option for that.
Yeah, I think in the past, we decided we would not post the treasurer's report on the website, but Linda would be glad to send it to anybody who asks for it. Yeah, good. Thanks. Good idea. Anything else? Okay.
I have one. Well, we've got everybody here. Easter is going to be early this year, and so therefore Ash Wednesday is also early. You're going to be seeing in the newsletter a report about our having our Shrove Tuesday pancake supper. It will be Zoom. We will be setting up this arrangement. Each of you can come to my kitchen, and that way, they get in front of the camera. My kitchen, I will be cooking my pancakes, and I will be dressed up. We'll maybe get Sandy to dress up too, and David. And each of you come in between 5 and 7 and visit for a while. You don't have to stay. You can show us you cooking pancakes. You can show us your Mardi Gras decorations. You can put on your beads or whatever you want to do. And we'll just get together for, a little while. And but the window will be open for 2 hours from 5 to 7. And then, of course, unfortunately, I have to cut you off because I have to go rehearse with the Bremerton Symphony Chorale. Right, Barbara?
Yes, I've been missing, so I need to
Yeah,
start.
we've noticed.
Okay.
Anyway, that's my announcement from the Welcoming Committee.
Thank you, Peter. Okay, we're going to do rooms again now. And this time we're going to discuss, have you had the vaccination? Have you been vaccinated yet? Or do you have a date to get vaccinated? Or when do you think you will get vaccinated? Or are you not going to get vaccinated? So make sure recreate the room, and you'll have different people, I think, and we'll try it again. So here we go, another 3 minutes.
Oops. Ooh, 11.
Starting now, I can see all the screens disappearing. Oh, it's you and me, Carolyn?
Yeah,
Have you
how
got
about
the
that?
screen yet?
What happened to the third member that's supposed to be in there?
I see Penny. Are you there, Penny? Can you unmute yourself, Penny? I asked her to unmute on the little button, but I don't see her unmuting. Well, I guess it's you and me, Carolyn.
Well, it certainly is a very important topic. Yesterday was a week ago that I did get the vaccine that was orchestrated through the Willows here. It was not very well organized. I didn't know we had to stand outside in the line for 45 minutes. It was extremely cold. It was just really awful. But when we got inside, they were so organized and so nice. I was very impressed and with the wait time. And then I got home and I finally got really warm again. But it was very, very taxing. I kept moving and arm got sore later at night, but because I kept moving constantly, reaching for things and doing shoulder rolls and all this stuff, I got through it really well. And on day 2, I hardly felt a thing anymore. Having a follow-up appointment set in 2 weeks from yesterday. So I'm glad to get that done. And that's one worry that I can deal with. Have another little worry, and that's transportation, because on the coming Wednesday, I have to have a colonoscopy. And so I need transportation from here to the endoscopy center in Silverdale. by an adult who can stay the whole procedure, and which takes 2 hours to take me home, or it could be chopped up. Somebody can pick me up, stay there for an hour and a half, and then somebody else relieve her and bring me home. And just trying to set it up, and I need to know who's on the outreach committee, who maybe I could call. So,
Yeah, Penny would be glad to do that, I think.
yeah, and I was also, because of where I am, and Penny is all the way in Polsbo, you think I was going to ask Ruth, or I know Loretta does a lot for me. I'm going to start calling, but Penny is in charge of the outreach committee. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Penny is in charge of, parish
Parish Life.
pastoral care. So she'd be glad to do that. Maybe Guy or I could do it too. We're available. We're not that far from you.
I know, but it's a matter of, pick me up at 8:15, get me there at 9:45, and then you'd have to sit there until somebody can relieve you, and that has to be worked out. And if need be, my daughter who lives in Sammamish, could be the second relief, because it takes a while to drive around, and with the ferries, it's very.
Oh yeah, that's too much.
To get there around 10. So I need to organize it. Right now, I'm only drinking coffee and having rice, and there's a whole diet and then all the other stuff.
Which day is it you're having it done?
On Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. Listen, I have to close this room and get back to the group.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, nice to talk with you, Carolyn.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're going to close, and then everybody should be coming back in. Yeah, there we are. People are coming back. Hello, Blaine.
Hey there.
Were you in our group?
No, I just pushed the wrong button on my phone that said stay here or leave now.
Oh, okay.
I was in the middle. We were talking COVID and why you're not getting the shot or getting the shot. And, I get mine tomorrow.
Oh, good.
And I'm one of those people. I've had four friends who have got it. And one of them just passed away from it. So.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
Sorry to hear that.
But he was an older gentleman. He was an international lawyer in Vancouver, and he just didn't recover.
Oh, gee.
Hi there.
There's Jessica.
Yes, she wants to be tickled and laugh, and your ears can't take it all. Can I have my hand back to mute?
I have a question.
Well, it's nice to see Jessica. Nice to see everybody, actually.
When people get vaccinated, are you all, is general consensus that you're going to feel more comfortable coming back to church once you have a vaccine?
Oh, no.
Very good.
How do people feel about
Hang on,
that?
I gotta flip this.
We'll see.
Don,
Hello.
are you there?
Yep.
I know I'll certainly feel more comfortable,
How
and
you
I
doing?
think I'll be more comfortable like just getting.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
Yeah, looking at the statistics for results of COVID, if you're over 80, the number of people who have over 80 who have died is enough to make one more cautious about going out.
I think everybody has to watch the new strain that's popped up in Washington as well to see what the impact of that is on society.
Well, Bill already knows. I
Okay.
spent most of the past week trying to get an appointment so I could get the vaccine. And finally on Friday, I
Okay,
managed,
great.
after diligence and persistence.
August, okay.
Yeah, I managed to get one at the Silverdale Hospital. They had just dropped some new hours, and I managed to get one at noon on Monday. So I'm set for 02, 01, 21 at 1-2.
Very good, Barbara. She let me know, and I tried to get in, and I just missed it. So I'll try again.
Hey, Bill, if you do find out, could you let me know? Because my 89-year-old dad doesn't have an appointment till the 24th.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's when I've got one. Yeah.
We got ours this week, and we went to Gig Harbor and got in. So it was slick. I mean, it was really easy.
I checked their site. They have no openings right now.
Also, keep your computer on in the evenings about 9 o'clock,
Because if they have leftover vaccine, all of a sudden things will be starting to pop up, but you have to go right away because it's that day. So watch the website in the evening for leftover vaccines.
It's like,
At
throw
any
your
time
coat
after
over-
6 o'clock.
Throw your coat over your pajamas and run.
Yes.
Which website is that?
Just I was on St. Michael's and I realized it was popping up. So they give shots from 6 in the morning until 6 in the evening. So anytime around 6 o'clock on, watch, because they will say, we have vaccines come in.
Wow.
Or, but have your chart, always put your chart up first with St. Michael's. So you can just hit on it and then put your appointment in. Okay.
Good advice. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, everybody. That was kind of fun. And thank you for participating. This is the biggest church I've had for about a year.
Is Charles still on?
Are you still here, Charles?
I don't think he is.
No, he had to leave. He has an early morning tomorrow.
Oh,
Right.
right. I was hoping to say hi.
It was past his bedtime, he said.
Yeah, very late.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if nobody has anything else, that's the end
I've
of our-
got one final thing that I'd forgotten to include in the report is that through everyone's generous contributions at the end of the year, we gave $875 to the staff, and I just did the transfer to Father Bill for his vicar's gift of $1,430. So thank you all for being very generous and supporting Bill and the staff.
Thank you very much. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be your vicar. Thank you very much.
Can I say something? I really think Linda deserves a huge round of applause for all that she has been kept us together too. Meeting at still working from home, and she jumps on the ball. I can email her at 9 o'clock at night and she'll email me back, and she's just been amazing. So thank you, Linda, very much. You're very much appreciated. Thank you.
And once again, to Guy, all of his hard work and keeping us all together and in services on Sunday, it is most appreciated. Thank you.
Also want to thank Ina for her singing. It makes a really nice duet listening to Ina and Bill together.
Yeah, I should like to say something. I wanted to bring it up at the end of the Altar Guild report. However, at this moment, I'm so grateful that the flower ministry is ongoing, and Heather Kanoki is putting it all together and keeping it going, and she's just so dedicated to it, and I'm truly thankful, and I think that we should be very glad that she's taken on this ministry. Thank you.
Yeah, the flowers have been beautiful, and we've been taking them out to people afterwards, especially Ruth Lindstrom is taking them out, and really, they're wonderful. Now, Melanie Reeder has something to say. Melanie, are you there?
I guess I am. I just wanted to say, for the team, that core team that you have, Ina, yourself, Bill, Craig, our musicians, guitarist, pianist, organist, and Guy. Just thank you. The rest of us just get up in our jammies and watch church, but you all show up every time, and the sermons have been just so inspiring and during this time, and it really means a lot to us to have you there every
Thank you, Melanie. You're right. The team has been great, and I've been really blessed to work with that team. Our Eucharistic ministers have been very faithful, and it's been a really great team to work with.
Well, it has been absolutely wonderful seeing familiar faces. Miss seeing everybody on Sunday. God bless everyone. Stay healthy, get your vaccine, and hopefully we'll be all together soon.
Okay, great.
And I also would like to thank Chris Croson for keeping the accounting on the Memorial Fund. That's an important function, and he does it with dedication. And it's just thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
One other thing I wanted to let you know, I mentioned to a few folks that I was on a Zoom call with Shane Carlson this week with Bill, And Shane has told us that he has got a summer internship at the VA in Seattle. And so we may be seeing him for a few weeks this summer. So that's great.
Somebody's ringing my doorbell.
Yeah, good. Other comments before we leave?
When we come back to regular services, can we wear our pajamas to the 8 o'clock service?
I don't know if you guys remember Gigi that used to come to church when we were in the old building. She used to wear her PJs to church every Sunday and bring her dog. Like, we can just do that.
Good idea, Chelsea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always wearing his flannel pajama bottoms to church.
Hey, I don't want to stretch this out, but I see a little face there and we haven't heard much from our youth. So I just wanted to say hi to Laurel and tell her thank you for all her stuff she does for school. And I know she's back in school, and just say hi to her.
Yes, Laurel. Hi.
How was school this week, Laurel?
A little crazy because we're only there for like 2.5 hours. So the first day Zoom passed, and then the rest was slow, and we were doing our last 2 Zoom stuff. So we were doing our wit and wisdom and our math.
Season of 5.
And we also had recess. And when we came back from recess, it was time for our planners. So
Not a lot of time. How did mom like school?
it's very scheduled. So with them only being in school for the afternoon, they are still on their computer and virtually learning in the morning. And they still have Zoom classes in the morning, and then they get on the bus and they go to school in the afternoon. And so it's a lot. It's a lot for them. And it's a lot of scheduling, but very happy to have them back in school.
Yeah. By the way, I did talk to Chris Croson about his need to stick around, and he's going to have to wait until the chariot comes to pick him up before he can go to heaven.
Thank you, St. Peter.
Same bus stop. I see Jessica there on the screen. And Jessica, want to talk to us?
Can you say hello?
Hi-ho.
Yeah, she's an internet star.
She has definitely gotten into the communication stage, especially if it involves Daniel Tiger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She'll be talking more and more. Great.
And she can count to 4 on her own.
Good.
Adorable. So cute.
1, 2, 3, 4. She is going to learn some more. 5, 6, 7, 8. She will be so really great.
Oh. Peter, I'm impressed you can still do that after being retired.
Hey, I'm tired, not retired.
Okay, I think we're about done. And thank you everyone for coming. This was really fun. And I think we learned a lot and got connected a little bit. And so can't wait until we can all be back in church together. In the meantime.
And I look forward to seeing you all on, I think it's February 16th, which is the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday.
Right.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.